Alrighty there, gun nerds and gun nerdette. Not forgetting about you, Hannah. Welcome back to the My Papa Kilo USPSA channel. I just reviewed this fella right here, and I wanted to do a nice little close-up for you guys. Wasn't a whole lot of close-ups of the gun because I was by myself and I forgot my tripod, and I had to get it done because, one, like I said at the end of the video, I need to get this thing a ported barrel too. Today I'm going to be doing a trigger job and a couple other things. I want to show you guys the RMR cut, maybe a little bit more close-up of the sights, get an idea of what we're looking at here compared to a Glock 19, and just, you know, drink it up. This is a pretty awesome pistol. I have been partial to the Glock 19, everything minus the trigger, for a long time. I can't get over how bad the triggers are. This is definitely all of 5.5, 6 pounds. And the pre-travel's not bad, and the reset's good, but it's very heavy, which was evident during the bill drills. But yeah, this Turk NATO gun knocked it out of the park again. Good job, Turks. Here's a close-up of the knockoff Glock mag I've got. Oh, what happened to my Glock mag I just had? There we go. So of course, this one has a TTI base pad because old Paco Glocko from the Tac Shack, this was his Glock. But here's the Glock symbol. Probably have a Glock symbol on the base pad, which I think I've got a new one in box. Yep, there you go. G-Lock symbol on the base there. I would imagine that's maybe a +1 base pad, no idea. Well, there's the magazines. I don't even know what this is. Trigger lock. I have no idea what this is. Ooh, a cleaning kit that I'll never use. That's pretty neat. Man, the Turks really just knocked this shit out of the park. And then we got to cut out for an extra clipazine, which I'll probably just throw this Glock mag in here and throw this section away. Glock. And then whatever this is for, and whatever that is for, just keep that right there. So that's pretty neat. I figured this would have came in a cardboard box, but you know, again, the Turks just knocking it out of the park. $280, you got a plastic carry case. Takedown's just like a regular Glock. You got to pull the trigger, pull the slide back about 1/8 of an inch, push it off the front. 250 rounds. You're not going to see a whole lot of buildup here. Especially from my reloads, you'd expect them to have more buildup from tight group, but there's no oil in it, which is what makes, you know, the nasty stuff stick to your gun. I might as well take this apart because it's going to take me like 5 seconds to do. You really don't even need a hammer for this, but I went ahead and grabbed one. So to take out the magazine release, I'm going to leave it in because I have no reason to take that apart. But if you look in here, this little spring-a-doo, there's a little lip here. You pull that out, this whole bar comes across, and you take needle nose pliers and just pull that spring out. Very simple. You can see how the magazine release works right there. This little lug on either side, which that's the one thing about the Gen4 is you can flip this around if you're a lefty, which a lot of the Glock clones do not have. And that little cutout is what retains the magazine. So there's that. Take out fire control group. That's tight. Guess you do need a hammer for this one. The slide release is held in a groove with this pin. As you see marks on those pins. That's kind of funny. So we'll take out the top wishbone pin. I call this wishbone pin because it's got these little barbells on the side. There's that pin, and then you've got to push down on this pin and wiggle this bad boy until that comes out, because that sits in this groove like this, and that's what retains it. And then everything should just kind of pop out. Pry up on the locking block here. There we go. Get out of my gun. There we go. That sounds like a woodpecker. There's the locking block. There's your fire control group. That connector's bent way out. So that's how that sits. And that's how your trigger pull works. That's your sear surface right there. Pull down and back, boom, drops the sear. That's the whole trigger assembly there. Pretty simple, and this is just held in by a little dogleg spring there. You can push the spring down with a punch right here. Push that out if you really wanted to. And then the slide, Gen4 recoil spring. I think this is what makes Glock shoot really well, because I don't think I remember shooting a Gen3 that shoots that well. Of course, with the Turks, they serialize everything like the Germans did. There's your barrel, back plate. You pull down on this little black sleeve inside the striker, so you push down, the back plate comes off. And then there's your striker assembly. The easiest way to fix this is, I had a little cardboard box sitting here. This has been rolling around in my shooting bag for years, just in case I needed a striker spring for my Canic, because basically all striker guns nowadays use the same. And I'm probably going to put in the 4.5 pound striker spring, because anything lighter than that probably won't pop all the primers. But that's the easiest way. I'm going to mess with the probably going to polish this bad boy, because when you pull the trigger, this little bump here is what rubs up against this and allows the striker to go forward. That's your striker safety. So if I take the extractor plunger spring assembly out, where'd that little bit go? There we go. So that's what powers your extractor against the back plate, and then you push down on this safety, your extractor comes out, and then this guy should come out. Good thing I have fingernails. So that could use cleaned up a little bit, so I can polish the edges so as it scrapes over, it's a little bit easier. Landtac used to make a reduced power spring and plunger kit. With these, all I do is I cut 2 coils off of it, and that reduces the power, so the spring tension of the trigger rubbing against this is reduced and your overall trigger pull is reduced. So yeah, that's more than any of you will ever need to take this down. And of course, if you want to replace the sights, just buy a Glock sight tool, unscrew that, and that comes out. This rear sight actually has a set screw in it, but a hammer and punch, be mindful, aluminum and plastic, they don't like to be hit very hard, so have an aluminum punch or a plastic punch to do that, or Amazon's got 1,000 Glocker sight pushers. And then here's the arm mark cut. A lot of these slides back in the day, from like Cam Tactical, they were cut specifically for the RMR. They had a like a helix here, not a helix, a hemisphere here. This one's a flat cut, so I'm hoping we can put this Holosun on it. My boy Vadim from the Optics Unlimited, I'll put him down in the description. Oh, okay, so there's nothing in this box. Wrong box. Hold tight. Okay, that was one I put on a gun for a guy, empty box. This one is what we're looking for. So we will hope that these are the same. Nope, that's some Allen head of some sort, I think. Maybe. Dang it! I had to go deep dive into my automotive kit. It's a T8 or some silly Allen head that doesn't fit anything I have. So that's cool. Oh, we got some yummy schmoo under there. Alright, moment of truth. There we go. Big boy. Extra large. So that's gonna live there forever. Why do you give me the shortest fasteners and the largest fasteners and nothing in between? I don't understand, because some slides you gotta worry about those being through holes, especially on like shitty 6 hours. You gotta trim the screws to be perfect so they're not impeding on your ejector plunger spring that they completely robbed from Glock. 320s are garbage, by the way. Nothing you can say can change my mind about that. Having worked on them and seen cops and every other person of every walk of life blow them up. I've seen 5 or 6 of them blow up a competition. So yeah, just don't buy those. They're trash. Why aren't you threading in, sir? Okay, cool. So these are the smaller thread pitch. That's super dumb. Why would they do that? So I gotta figure out what these threads are now. Yay. Well, it's raining now, so we'll have to deal with that. These are 100 thousandths, smaller than an M3, and thankfully this little Swamp Fox kit I bought years ago when I was a gunsmith had these 4-40 screws, and that's what they are. These are a 1/4 inch long. Where the hell did the first one go? I think that's it. And thankfully they are countersunk, so they'll actually index in the countersunk portion of the optics. What does this say? T10 wrench. Which, I thought this looked like an Allen head for a moment. So, got the red stuff. We're gonna see if we can't keep this Holosun on forever, and it's got the side gate, so we don't ever have to take it off. So that's pretty cool. All right, where'd my 4-40s go? Need one more of these. Give it a little bit of the good juice. Way too much. Just take a little dabby do there. Throw this in. And that hole can't go into anything. The other hole can go into this channel, so I gotta put this in and then see if the extractor parts will go back in. Otherwise I'll have to trim this screw. 4-40, what a silly screw size. Of course I can't find my 1/4 inch ratchet anywhere, so that's super swell. I never use the thing. Now we'll take our extractor, throw this in, and throw this behind it. That goes in just fine, so that's not interrupting anything. That's good. I'm gonna go see if I can't find a T10 with a handle on it and tighten these all the way down. I imagine if I ever have to take those out, I'm going to have to retap it for an M3, because that red Loctite is probably going to take all the threads out with it. Do a quick wipe down here. Of course, the Cerakote makes that very easy. And I grabbed an El Cheapo barrel. I imagine this is probably Combat Armory, because they're like $30. And it would appear that this is having some trouble dropping in. Yeah, the hood's just a little bit long. It's rubbing against the breech face, but it looks like most Glock parts will probably drop in if that $30 barrel drops in. Just rubbed a little bit on the breech face. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and gunsmith this, cut 2 coils off of that, and I'm gonna go ahead and replace this striker spring. Try and get this trigger a little bit better. Let's see. Longer spring, probably smaller diameter of coil, yields less power. That's 25 thousandths. The stock one is 27 thousandths. There you go. That's way easier to compress. There's that. So I'm gonna get some side cuts. Stretch this spring out. Cut 2 coils off of it. And then polish that bad boy. Alright, a little rubber abrasive action later. We got that all nice and polished up. Go ahead and put my cut spring in here. Throw it back in here. And that little reduction in diameter is what actually holds. You can see as I squeeze this, that's what holds the extractor in. And then take our extractor plunger kit, put it in there, take our striker. As you can see, if I push on the striker, it doesn't come out the breech face. And when I push the plunger, it's allowed to come through. Pushy, pushy, turducken. So there's that. I'm excited to see whether or not that helps. You can put springs in the lower half of the gun to help out too, but in my experience, it doesn't really do a whole lot. But there might be some magic formula there that I don't know of. So I have heard guys brag about their sub 3 pound Glock triggers, which I just find very hard to believe. Push all that back down. Maybe. Oh, you turd. And the wildlife out here today after this rain has just been something else. Alright, you piece of shit. Get your ass back in there. There we go. Just a little spritz of oil. That's all you need. And then our barrel, I'll just wipe off. It doesn't really need any work. It barely has any rounds through it. Just make sure the feed ramp is clean. Ta-da. Put that back together. Recoil spring is not dirty. And just a spritz of oil on both of those. Okay, that's it. Done. And the lower half of the gun, same thing. It's really not that dirty, like at all. So I'll just throw all the components back together. Gotta make sure this is all together like so. I'm probably gonna find a better trigger shoe for this eventually. Excuse you. Throw this back in here. Like I said, you can replace this spring. I might end up bending the sear. That's probably the only thing I will do to this. And then that goes in there. And then we need our locking block. Excuse me, sir. Please go back in your home. Boy, this is tight fit. I wonder it's so hard to get out. There we go. Real tight fitting gun. And then where's my wishbone pin? There it is. Drive that back in. And then this guy will feed from right to left. Wiggle the trigger shoe, try and get a line. I'll push it out a little bit. Oh my goodness, the woodpecker's on my tree. How cool is that? What's up, dude? What a majestic creature. Anywho's. Take this. This spring has to go underneath that little wishbone guy. They've actually got a tail on it so it doesn't go too far in. Just gonna get that somewhere in betwixt. I gotta pull it, there we go. And here, a little persuading tappy tap tap. You don't want to hit it hard because you're basically striking against this stamped steel piece. I just had to do it off camera. I don't know what was going on there. Just make sure that's still spring powered and pull the trigger. I guess I should probably drive this in. Everything's a punch if you try hard enough. Okay, so should be able to push on the disconnector, have that pop back up, pull forward on the trigger, and it'll reset just like that. So this actually needs to be pulled to reassemble. That's a lot better. That's more of a 4-pound trigger now. Still not can it good, but it's better. So there you go. That is the full disassembly and slight modification of the GForce RPX9 Exodus. So see how many rounds we can get through this thing. Like I said, I'm kind of excited to shoot this a bunch. See how it ends up. But that trigger is already a lot better. Ew, red dot. Neat.